As-salaam wa-alaikum, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Year 6 of the 17 Verses podcast. I'm your host, Maher Haq. In this podcast, we take a small selection from the Quran every day and recite it to you in plain English, so you can get a small slice of God's word while you go about your day. By averaging 17 verses per day, we're able to break the Quran down into manageable pieces and finish it in 1 year. If you enjoyed the podcast, please help spread the word. Tell your friends and family, subscribe in iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you get your podcasts, and write us a review. Show notes and a text episode can be found at 17verses.com. That's the numbers 17verses.com. Today's selection is from Surah 18, Al-Kahf, or the Cave, verses 60 through 70. This selection begins the story of Prophet Moses traveling to find a man named Khidr, whom Allah had imparted with some knowledge. Khidr warned Prophet Moses that he would not be able to bear with him. Tafseer for the selection explains how this part of the story is meant to illustrate 2 of 4 specific points. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Now tell them about the story of Khidr, to whom Allah has given special knowledge. Prophet Moses was asked to go see him and learn from him. When Moses set out to meet him at an appointed place, he said to his young servant, I will not give up my journey until I reach the junction of the 2 rivers, even if I have to spend ages in travel. It so happened that when at last they reached the junction of the 2 rivers, they forgot about the fish they were carrying, which made its way into the river and disappeared. When they had passed on some distance, Moses asked his young servant, Let us have our breakfast. Really, we are worn out with this traveling. He replied, You know, I forgot to tell you about the fish, which made its way miraculously into the river when we were resting beside that rock. It was Shaitan who made me forget to mention this incident to you. Moses said, This is the place we were looking for. So they went back, retracing their footsteps. There they found one of our servants, Khidr, whom we had blessed with special favor from ourselves, and whom we had given special knowledge of our own. Moses requested of him, May I follow you, so that you may teach me from that true knowledge which you have been taught? Khidr answered, Surely you will not be able to bear with me, for how can you have patience about that which is beyond your knowledge? Moses said, If Allah wills, you shall find me patient, and I shall not disobey you in any way. Khidr said, If you want to follow me, then do not question me about anything until I tell you about it myself. Ameen. We'll continue the rest of this story tomorrow. Now, concerning the 2 of 4 specific points that this selection is meant to illustrate. Quote, Number 1, Moses was learned in all of the wisdom of the Egyptians. Even so, that wisdom did not comprehend everything. Even as the whole stock of the knowledge of the present day, the sciences and the arts and in literature, if it could be supposed to be gathered in one individual, does not include all knowledge. Divine knowledge, as far as man is concerned, is unlimited. Even after Moses received his divine mission, his knowledge was not so perfect that it could not receive further additions. Number 2, constant effort is necessary to keep our knowledge square with the march of time, and such effort Moses is shown to be making. Unquote. Thank you. This concludes today's episode of the 17 Verses podcast. I hope that this selection helps increase your understanding of the Holy Quran just a little bit. If you like the podcast, you can subscribe in iTunes or Stitcher and write us a review. Or you can grab the RSS feed and put it into your own podcast app. The show notes, including a text version of this episode, can be found by going to 17verses.com. That's the numbers 17verses.com. Thank you, and be well.